Hey there, you know, from the time your baby is around, maybe like 10 to 11 months of age and they have begun to eat food and maybe drink from a cup a little bit, one of the things that they are gonna do almost certainly at some point or another is they're gonna try to feed you. They're gonna offer you their cup, they're gonna offer you a bite, and this whole thing that we do with our children where we share food together it's a really sweet thing that happens all of the time. And I have been thinking about what we used to do when our kids were little. You know, sometimes children can get a little cranky. I remember that I discovered when our kids were little that there was this tea at the grocery store that was called Good Mood Tea. And so I bought some and I thought, well, I'll drink it and maybe if it tastes any good, I'll offer it to the kids and see if that might help them to get out of their cranky mood sometimes. And so it began a tradition in our home where we would have tea parties together and we would have some Good Mood tea. And so it became almost as if that was just sort of a question that was asked. If a kid was really having a hard time, I would just say, do you think you need a cup of Good Mood tea? Do you think that would help? And almost always they would say yes, because that meant that we got to do somewhat what I'm getting ready to show you here. And so we're going to talk about having a tea party with your child. And you know, there's lots of little tea sets and plastic things and play things that we have with our young kids. But what I'm going to show you is a way to have tea with your little bitty kid using kind of nice stuff. So you know your own child and you know obviously what they can handle. I don't know your kid. You're the expert on your own child. But I would like to encourage you to think about letting them use some things, maybe some little dishes that are made out of glass that you don't care about so much. Like if they get broken, it won't be a big deal. This is what we used to do. In fact, I had a little table in the kitchen. I would put a nice tablecloth on it. We would set that tea party up right there in the kitchen, and it was a fun thing to do. Sometimes it didn't last more than about 5 or 10 minutes, but at the very least, that was something that we did together, and it kind of broke the tension. So I'm gonna show you how I would set it up. For one thing, I think it's really a good idea to consider that your child is worth some nice things as well. And so go ahead and set a little flower there if you've got some flowers. I've just got some flowers from my yard that I cut. I have my teapot. I'll put it here. And I have a little small demi-tasse cup. This is one that we used a lot when the kids were here. And this is why everybody loves tea parties. Sugar cubes. We always have to have sugar cubes. And snacks. And so it doesn't matter what the snack is. It can be goldfish. But whatever it is, it's part of the tea party and it's fun. So you can see here how I've got it set up. Another thing that I would often do, and you may or may not want to do this, but I would often light a candle for our tea party, and I would of course be sitting there with the children as we did this. But there's just something a little bit magical about a candle, and I know that you know that. You know, kids of course love to blow out the candle, and if they blow it out, no big deal. It's just not lit anymore, or you can relight it and they can blow it out again. So we've got our flowers, we've got our candle, and we've got our tea and our little teacups and our sugar cubes and our cookies. And so you could sit with your child and have a cup of tea. I made myself some peppermint tea that I'm gonna drink in just a moment. You can connect with them. You can talk with them. And as you do it, you can model language. You're working on lots of different areas of development when you have a tea party with your child. For one thing, there's fine motor development, because if you're going to have a small cup of tea like this, then they have to use their little hands to hold it. So I've poured myself some tea. It goes without saying, but I guess I'll say it anyways. Don't serve hot tea, serve warmish tea. Or you can serve cold tea. You can serve apple juice. You can serve whatever your kid likes. But the fact that it's in the pot and the fact that you're using this cute little cup, that's what it's all about. I would offer a sugar cube to the kids, and they would put, you know, as many as they could into their cup. If you want to control how many they put in there, let's say you say no more than 2, then only put 2 sugar cubes in the bowl. That's what is available. So that would be one way to kind of control that. So anyways, you've got language development. You can talk about the smell of the tea. It smells very minty. What is the aroma of the tea? You can taste it. You can talk about what it tastes like. Whenever you're talking with your child and you use a different word to describe something that is familiar. For example, I said the word aroma. What is the aroma of the tea? That's a way for us to grow their vocabulary and help them learn new words. And so you always want to throw a new word in there every now and again and grow their vocabulary, because a child needs to have a vocabulary of around 5,000 words when they enter kindergarten. That's kind of what's understood. And the only way they'll get all those words in is if we talk and we read and we use a lot of different words with them. So a tea party allows you that opportunity. You get to model how to have good manners. You know, you might take your little cookie and place it on the saucer beside your tea, and that is your serving. And you could, invite them to take their serving. Anyways, by doing what you do in a tea party, you are modeling. I used to always make a big deal of putting my finger up, and they would always like to imitate that as well. And so that is what they are learning through this tea party. Once you've enjoyed it with them and they get kind of used to it and they get a little bit older, maybe like 4 or 5 or so, I don't know, kind of depends on your kid, then you might want to offer them the opportunity to do it on their own. And I just wanted to show you this little tea set that we've got. And this is one that was used quite frequently by the kids. But this is one that they would use, and it is made of glass, and they were able to manipulate it and use it. And of course the cups are very tiny, and the teapot's very tiny, and the sugar cube holder is very tiny. Everything is tiny about it, which makes it just the more fun. Have your tea party. You could even make cleanup a part of the tea party, that you could wash the dishes together, or you could at least take them to the sink together. And then when you're all done, I hope that you will take the rest of the tea that's in the pot and save it for yourself for a quiet moment later when maybe everybody's gone to bed, and you can just take a minute and relax and enjoy the evening. And so there you go. That's just an idea of something that you can do with your kids. Have a tea party and enjoy connecting with them and having that fun together.